I have with me today Dr. Jing Kai, a research fellow at the Institute for Sinology at Yonsei University and associate of the Asia Institute. Welcome, Dr. Jing Kai.
Thank you.
So I'd like to ask you first, why do you think it is that this confrontation with North Korea, lasting from the Cold War, is still with us today?
Well, I think the reason is obvious. This is a game and test will not only, the substantial nuclear threats from North Korea and the so-called imperialist invasion from the U.S. and South Korea. This is a game of will.
Right. So what do you think in a long-term resolution to this problem, this crisis, what do you think needs to be done? What are the conditions for a true resolution?
There can hardly be any true resolution to solve this problem easily.
Right.
And putting simply, compromise, reconciliation among major powers,
Absolutely.
not only between North Korea and the U.S., but also among the other major powers.
Right.
And the point is to not make any other extra request within these so-called six-party talks. You know, the Japanese, the Russian, the U.S., and the South Korea, and the Chinese, they all have different reasons to join, but not make it clear for denuclearization. And but the point is, it is approaching very quickly, so we have to do something right now.
When you say critical point, you mean a serious sort of conflict between the United States and North Korea in general? Right. Well, that's an excellent point. On the Chinese side, how do Chinese perceive the North Korean issue?
Well, my view may not represent the mainstream views in China, but I do believe it really depends on how people evaluate the influence China has over North Korea. It has a very great influence in the past, but no, we don't have great influence right now.
Right.
And so don't blame China for everything. China has been actually marginalized in the nuclear crisis issue. You know, all the evolution of the situation does not seem to be closely related to Chinese behaviors. What's between North Korea and the U.S.?
Absolutely, at multiple levels.
Yeah.
Had a chance to read a little bit of the American media and talk with American experts. How do you think Americans are perceiving the North Korea issue?
Basically, the U.S. has a very realistic view on North Korea. So about not only on its nuclear program, but also on the regime.
Right.
The evil regime or sort of thing like that. But I don't think that's a very constructive way to deal with North Korea. So the problem is to change from Clinton administration's engagement to Bush's administration, totally different approach. And now the strategic patience. I don't think that's a very constructive way to deal with North Korea.
Absolutely.
Patience, keep silence. Now that's not good.
So in terms of a long-term resolution, it seems to me that we really need both the United States and China to be committed at a higher level in terms of an agreement to limit, as you mentioned, focus on non-proliferation, right? Not be distracted by other issues, but also in the sense to let the North Koreans themselves, North and South Koreans, have their own dialogue about the other issues for their own unification.
Yes. Well, I think there are two very fundamentally important issues in the whole issue. One is denuclearization. The second is peace. And well, I think maybe the second one is more a critical issue because all the origin of this kind of nuclear issue has originated from the conflicts between North Korea and the U.S. regarding the peace and security.
Very true. In a sense, if you're moving towards peace, then the fact that you have nuclear weapons is not such a threatening fact. You can have nuclear weapons and just have them sit there. But if you're not moving towards peace, then every action becomes potentially threatening.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And we look forward to meeting everybody again soon to talk about other critical issues in Northeast Asia.